Hi class, welcome to module 4.2. This is our second module covering insects that you may encounter on your citrus trees. And in this module we're going to talk about the leaf miner and the orange dog caterpillar. Now the citrus leaf miner, or Phyllochnistus citrella, it affects the foliage each time new growth comes out. It loves that nice tender new growth is where leaf miners do most of their damage, and when they usually lay their eggs, and so it's on each time there's a flush of growth, you're probably going to have leaf miners show up. The leaf miner is actually the caterpillar of a moth. And the little moths, the tiny little guys, they will deposit their eggs on the underside of the leaf, and then the larvae, when the eggs hatch, will emerge and tunnel their way into the leaf. And then once inside the leaf, they create these tunnels that you'll see pictures of in just a minute that actually are running between the upper leaf surface and the lower leaf surface. So they're hollowing out the inside of the leaf between the upper and lower surface. And this is where they develop and feed and grow and mature. And at maturity now, and maturity for larvae is when it's getting ready to pupate. Once they mature, they'll go to the edge of the leaf, and when they get there, they actually cause the leaf edge to curl, and the pupa will form inside this curled area. The larval stage, depending on the environment, can last from 5 to 20 days, and the pupal stage can last anywhere from 6 to 22 days. Once the pupal stage is passed and they become adults, the adult females will emerge, usually in the morning, flying around, then they mate and then lay their eggs at night. So the total development time for one generation of the citrus leaf miner is anywhere from 13 to 52 days, depending on the weather and the temperature. So by looking at that, you can see there can be quite a few generations of these little moths in a normal year. So there could be multiple generations. And now the adults, once they hatch out, they're very short-lived. They really aren't feeding that at all. They're just flying around mating and laying more eggs to start the next generation. And since a generation can take as little as 3 weeks, you can see that with the right environmental conditions, you are going to have multiple generations. Now the leaf miner injury that is created is on the leaves, and this injury can help citrus canker bacterium find an entry point into the plant. So the leaf miner damage can help to increase the spread of citrus canker. However, do remember, the leaf miner does not transmit the citrus canker bacterium. So having leaf miners, they're not moving the bacterium around. So the leaf miners are just causing damage, the same way as if you went out and were to tear a leaf in half. Now you've created a major damage on that leaf part that's left hanging on the tree, and it's a major point of entry for disease organisms like the bacterium that causes citrus canker. Same thing as what the citrus miner is doing. It's just causing injury, which is an entry point for that bacterium. And in most cases, on most trees, the citrus leaf miner injury is merely cosmetic, and it doesn't do any harm to any degree that deleteriously affects a mature tree or even one that's a couple years old. On really young trees that don't have a lot of foliage yet, maybe the first year after planting or something, if they get a heavy infestation of the citrus leaf miner, there could be enough damage that might slow them down a little bit. However, there won't be enough damage to actually kill the tree. Sometimes the young succulent twigs that are forming on this new flush of growth will also get infected by leaf miners. And if they infect this young twig, they will actually cause the end of that twig to die. And so those twigs should be pruned away in the springtime to get rid of the leaf miner and the developing larvae. Now if you do want to control the leaf miner, if you just want your tree to look really clean, eliminating that cosmetic damage, you can use spinosad, which is an organic type insecticide, and it can be used to manage leaf miner. Now you will need multiple applications of this product to get good control, and so about every week to 2 weeks, 7 to 14 days during the active season for the leaf miner, you are going to have to be applying this spinosad. And all that will be on the label for you when you buy your product. Now remember, the label is the law on pesticides, so read the label and follow the label's directions. Now here we have pictures of what the leaf miner damage looks like, and anyone who's ever grown citrus will recognize this, because the citrus leaf miner is very prevalent. It likes the same climate that citrus likes to grow in, and like I said, because the injury is so minor and most people, it's not economically feasible or even time-wise wise to use your time to try to control the citrus leaf miner. So there's constantly regenerating, and so there's always a population of those little moths around. But this is what the citrus leaf miner damage looks like. And this is where you can see that there's a lot of leaf miners working in here. And this is citrus canker developing along the damage caused by the citrus leaf miner. Once again, leaf miner does not cause or transmit citrus canker. All it's doing is creating wounds for citrus canker to enter. And the other insect we want to talk about is the giant swallowtail, sometimes called the orange dog caterpillar. This is Papilio cresfontes, and this is a beautiful butterfly. The orange dog caterpillar, the time it causes most damage is on very young trees, because the caterpillar is a very large caterpillar. It starts out small, of course, but it will get very large. And if you have one or two of these orange dog caterpillars on a very young citrus tree, they can completely defoliate it. So on young citrus trees, you do want to do some type of control of the orange dog caterpillar, because if you see damage caused by it and it's on a very young tree, the damage is only going to get worse. And the larvae is very distinctive, very recognizable, because when you look at it, it just looks like bird droppings is what it looks like on the tree. They start out real small and get larger. But that look that the caterpillar has is one form of defense, in that if it just looks like bird droppings, birds aren't going to come along and think it's a nice juicy meal to eat. They just think it's a waste material, and they go on and leave it alone. And they do have a second form of defense, which you can see here, which we're talking about. When they're disturbed, they evert or put out a pair of orange glands coming from the base of the head. And that's, these glands, they look like horns on the caterpillar, and they have a very offensive odor, a very pungent, strong odor that's emitted by these horn-like glands on the caterpillar. And this is a defense mechanism to try to prevent predators from turning them into a midday snack. And as I said before, it is the giant swallowtail. And the giant swallowtail butterfly is recognized because it's a black winged butterfly with a series of yellow spots that form bands on both the front wings and the hind wings. And so here we can see this is what the giant swallowtail butterfly looks like. It's a beautiful butterfly. Giant swallowtail, it is a quite large butterfly. And this is what the orange dog caterpillar looks like. This is the baby of the giant swallowtail. And as you can see, it doesn't take much imagination to look at that and think, you know, that does kind of look like bird droppings. And here we have a picture of those horn-like glands that the caterpillar puts out when it's disturbed. You can see those are brightly colored. That bright coloration is one form of defense. Usually bright colors on insects are a way of announcing themselves, saying, here I am, I'm telling you this is a dangerous thing for you to do if you're thinking of eating me. And that's what those horn-like glands are, because they do put off a real offensive odor to try to prevent predation. And now, like I said, managing the orange dog caterpillar is not something that's usually required on large adult trees. Now, they're just going to eat some of the leaves until they mature and turn into this beautiful giant swallowtail butterfly. So we suggest just leave them alone. Let them enjoy a few of the leaves off your tree. The tree's not going to suffer, and you're not going to lose any fruit. Now, if you have them on young trees, as we said, they can completely defoliate a young tree. And the best way to control them on a young tree is to hand pick them off and find a large adult tree somewhere. Maybe ask your neighbor if they have a large citrus tree, if you can move your caterpillars to their citrus tree. Go ahead and tell them what the caterpillar is going to turn into, and then they shouldn't be concerned about it, because the giant swallowtail butterfly, it's a beautiful, beneficial insect. And so make every effort that you can to save this butterfly. So on young trees, just pick the caterpillars off and move them to a larger tree where they can continue to eat and to grow and to mature. So we've talked about a couple of insects in this module that can cause damage, but in most cases they are no concern, because there's no control mechanism or no control measure needed to be taken. With the leaf miner, primarily cosmetic damage. Older trees can suffer through that without any effect on their growth or their production. Same thing with the giant swallowtail caterpillar or the orange dog caterpillar. Large trees don't care. Small trees, pick them off, put them on the large tree, and let the butterfly become a mature adult.